Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Jamie Carragher left amazed by one Arsenal player despite defeat at Villa Park. Jamie Carragher lauded Arsenal defender William Saliba despite suffering a defeat at Villa Park last night. The former Liverpool man was covering the game on Sky Sports and singled out William Saliba for praise in the 86th minute. Arsenal probably deserved at least a point on the road last night as they dominated for a large period of the game at Villa Park. The Gunners fell to a 1-0 defeat after John McGinn's early effort, but they limited Villa to barely any opportunities thereafter. That was largely down to Arsenal's brilliant defensive work after a slightly shaky start on the road, and Saliba was a standout performer once again. The 22-year-old was tasked with dealing with the threat of Ollie Watkins, and it's fair to say he stood up to it. And despite being on the losing side last night, Saliba impressed Carragher with his display at centre-back. Saliba consistently snuffed out Villa's counter-attacks last night and received some praise from Carragher after some brilliant defending in the 86th minute. The Frenchman dispossessed Watkins before plying through Villa's press and getting Arsenal up the pitch, and the moment led to Carragher lauding the centre-back for a brilliant display. He said, "He's been fantastic, Saliba." Saliba has formed an exceptional partnership with Gabriel Jesus at centre-back, and they limited Villa on Saturday evening. Villa's only goal came via a late run into the box from Villa midfielder McGinn, recently lauded as Arsenal's most important player alongside Declan Rice. Saliba continues to impress in central defense. Arsenal will undoubtedly be disappointed after being knocked off the top of the Premier League table yesterday, but the Gunners put in an encouraging performance, and it was only their finishing which ultimately let them down on the night. Jamie Carragher was so unimpressed with the 24-year-old Arsenal player versus Aston Villa. Jamie Carragher was left unimpressed with Kai Havertz in the latter stages of Arsenal's defeat at Villa Park yesterday. Mikel Arteta was forced to watch on from the stands as his side fell to a 1-0 defeat at Aston Villa on Saturday evening. The Arsenal boss was serving a one-match ban due to picking up 3 yellow cards this season and will be frustrated after a disappointing result. Arsenal were arguably the better side on the day as they dominated for large periods of the game, but the Gunners failed to make the most of their opportunities in front of goal. Indeed, an early strike from John McGinn proved to be the difference between the sides, but Arsenal did have the ball in the back of the net in the second half. Kai Havertz poked the ball past Emiliano Martinez, but the VAR ruled it had hit his hand right before his late strike. The Gunners failed to find an equalizer at Villa despite creating plenty of openings on the day, and as Arsenal chased yet another late goal, Jamie Carragher criticized Havertz after the midfielder was involved in an incident in the 96th minute. Speaking on Sky Sports' coverage of the game, Carragher was left unimpressed after Havertz was involved in a confrontation with Martinez. The pair clashed after the former Arsenal man gathered the ball inside the penalty area and collided with Havertz. And Carragher believes the German midfielder played right into Martinez's hands as he looked to run down the clock in stoppage time. He said, "It's daft the situation Arsenal find themselves in the game because if anyone is going to make the most out of it, it's going to be that man Martinez. He knows what he is doing, he is playing at the clock." Daft from Havertz. "You are just wasting time for your own team. Just get back in position and get on with the game." The 24-year-old was slightly unfortunate to have his goal ruled out yesterday, as there appeared to be minimal contact when the ball struck his hand. Nevertheless, it was a disappointing evening for Havertz and Arsenal as they dropped down to second in the Premier League table following the defeat. ESPN pundit says 26-year-old Arsenal player completely disappeared against Villa. Steve Nicol has not held back in his criticism of Gabriel Jesus after Arsenal were beaten at Villa Park by Aston Villa on Saturday. Nicol was speaking on ESPN after a first-half goal from John McGinn gave the Villains the 3 points as Mikel Arteta's side missed the chance to go back to the top of the Premier League table. Arsenal will be happy with their performance. Ultimately, however, they were just unable to get the ball into the back of the net, and in truth, they will probably be disappointed with how often Emiliano Martinez was genuinely tested. Gabriel Jesus was outstanding in the win over Luton in midweek. He scored one and was involved in two of the other goals as Arsenal edged a 7-goal thriller. However, the Brazilian endured a much quieter evening at Villa Park. In fact, Steve Nicol apparently had to remind himself at times that the 26-year-old was even on the pitch. He said, I will tell you what, they need a centre forward. I remembered sitting thinking, where is Jesus? And I'm talking about an Arsenal side who I thought were dominating, particularly in the second half. It was all about defense for Villa, but we never saw Jesus. You can't win the Premier League title with a man down, let's put it that way, because Jesus did absolutely nothing to help his team, and when you have got to break down a tight defense that's on top of their game, you have got to produce, and never mind, he didn't produce, he just disappeared. Jesus usually does bring so much to the Arsenal side. He is one of those players that the likes of Bukayo Saka and Martinelli love to play alongside because he uses the space so well. But you cannot defend his record in the league this season. He has just 2 goals in 11 games in the top flight. That is surely not going to be a good enough rate if Mikel Arteta's side are going to win the league this term. Certainly, Arsenal needed him to step up when you consider that neither Martinelli or Martin Odegaard have been as prolific so far this season. Ultimately, Jesus is a player with world-class quality, and there is no question that he has been a game-changing signing for the club. But you can understand why some are questioning whether Jesus has the goals in him to fire Arsenal to the title. Manager desperate for his club to sign £35 million Arsenal player in January. Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey could be on his way to Galatasaray in January. The Gunners' star has barely featured this season after another frustrating spell with injuries, and he is now on the wanted list of clubs in Europe. Reports have claimed recently that Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have grown tired of waiting for Partey to prove his fitness, and they are ready to sanction his exit. And according to Turkish outlet Takvim, that exit could lead him to Galatasaray. According to Takvim, Galatasaray want Partey to come in to replace the outgoing Tanguy Ndombele, who has once again failed to impress at yet another club. It's reported that manager Okan Buruk has asked the Galatasaray board to ensure Partey is signed in January. The club are weighing up a loan offer for Partey and feel Arsenal will be ready to do business. Partey attracted a £35 million offer from Saudi in the summer but stayed in North London. However, he has since done little and Arsenal will now sell. Thankfully for the Gunners, new signing Declan Rice has been superb and filled the void left by Partey's absence. Pep Guardiola does this well at Man City, but there is a time when managers simply need to get certain players out the door. With Thomas Partey, it very much feels like his time with Arsenal is coming to an end. Whether or not that is his fault or not is open to debate. Injuries have been an issue for him, and we see this with a lot of players in that they simply cannot recover and go from one problem to another. A move to a big club like Galatasaray will probably suit Partey. Of course, he needs to get fit regardless, but if he can get playing again, keep himself fit and clear of injury, and prove himself once more, then it will be good news all around for both he and Arsenal. Liverpool have now held talks with agent to beat Arsenal to £18 million player. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool and Mikel Arteta's Arsenal want to sign Joao Palinha. That's according to Team Talk, which has reported interest from another major Premier League club in Palinha as well. So, what has been reported about Liverpool and Arsenal target Joao Palinha? Let's take a look. Well, according to Team Talk, Liverpool and Arsenal are interested in signing Palinha from Fulham. The report has noted interest from Manchester United as well in the Portugal international defensive midfielder. Team Talk has claimed that Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester United have all held talks with the representatives of Palinha. The report has noted that Fulham won £60 million in transfer fees for the midfielder. The Cottagers paid £18 million to Sporting Lisbon for Palinha. In my view, Arsenal need Palinha more than Liverpool do. I do not think that the Reds are in desperate need of another midfielder. After all, Liverpool signed Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, Endo, and Ryan Gravenberch in the summer of 2023. I do not think that the former Premier League champions need another defensive midfielder in the mold of Palinha. While Arsenal signed Declan Rice from West Ham United in the summer of 2023, there is speculation on the future of Thomas Partey, who has had injury issues as well. Palinha could just replace Partey in the Arsenal team. He is 28 now and is at the top of his game. I believe that he would be able to make an immediate impact at the Emirates Stadium. The Portugal international defensive midfielder has made 47 appearances in the Premier League so far in his career. Palinha has scored 5 goals in those games. Both Arsenal and Liverpool are aiming to win the Premier League title this season. Tottenham Hotspur think they could beat Arsenal to world-class striker. Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham are very much in the running for the signature of Ivan Toney, a player Mikel Arteta's Arsenal also want. That's according to the Mirror, which has named another top Premier League club who want to sign the Brentford striker. So what has been reported about Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur and Ivan Toney? Let's take a look. Well, according to the Mirror, Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal want to sign Ivan Toney from London and the Premier League rivals Brentford. Chelsea are also keen on securing the services of Toney, who has won cup for England and was described as a world-class player by former Man United goalkeeper Ben Foster. The Mirror has claimed that sources insist that Tottenham are still in the running for Toney and think that they could beat Arsenal and Chelsea, even though those claims have been refuted elsewhere. The report, though, has noted that the striker is expected to remain at Brentford until the end of the season and will not leave the Bees in the January transfer window. There was speculation this week that Tottenham cannot afford to pay the transfer fee that Brentford want for Toney. The Bees reportedly want £100 million for the striker in January, whose value could plummet to £60 million in the summer of 2024. In my view, Arsenal would have a better chance of signing Ivan Toney than Tottenham Hotspur, whether that be in the January transfer window or in the summer of 2024. Arsenal could win the Premier League title this season, or at the very least, they should end up in the top 4. Tottenham's main objective in recent years has always been to get into the UEFA Champions League. The Gunners are playing in that particular competition right now. I believe that Toney would find Arsenal more appealing than Spurs. The Gunners have spent big on players such as Gabriel Jesus, Partey, Rice and Havertz in recent years. So if Arsenal think that they need a striker and are determined to sign Tony, then I think that they will get a deal done. Arsenal is still keeping tabs on forward they sold for £500,000. Arsenal may have sold Daniel Malin back in 2017, but the Gunners are still following him. That's according to 90 Minute, which has named two other Premier League giants who are keeping tabs on Malin. So, what has been reported about Arsenal and Daniel Malin? Let's take a look. Well, according to 90 Minute, Arsenal are among the clubs interested in Borussia Dortmund forward Daniel Malin. The report has noted interest in Malin from Man United and Liverpool. The 24-year-old forward has been offered to United by intermediaries. The Red Devils, though, have not made a decision. 90 Minute has reported that Arsenal and Liverpool both appreciate Malin's talent, adding that no talks are going on over a potential deal for the Netherlands international. Juventus have also been linked. Daniel Malin was on the books of Arsenal from 2015 until 2017. He could not break into the Gunners' first team. According to Team Talk, Arsenal sold Malin to PSV in 2017 for just £500,000. He was a teenager then. After a good spell at PSV, the forward moved to Borussia Dortmund in 2021 and has since established himself as one of the better players in the Bundesliga. Malin has made 9 starts and 3 substitute appearances in the Bundesliga this season. The forward has scored 4 goals in those games. The 24-year-old made 22 starts and 4 substitute appearances in the Bundesliga last season. He scored 9 goals and gave 5 assists in those games. I do not think that Arsenal should sign Malin. The Gunners have enough attacking players forwards. What they need is a proper number 9, which Malin is not. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.